do you think that in a slow/recession market like we have today, it would make more sense for NVIDIA and AMD to try to sell people future-proofed products with excess VRAM to try to encourage them to spend their money anyway? Then when the market is hot, you can just lean on the fact that people want to spend their money, so they will just buy things without needing an extra push. Do you think this logic could somehow be applied to things like CPU, motherboard, RAM as well?
Well, it would certainly help incentivize people to spend money if they think they're getting a better deal. But I think that goes against the objective that they're trying to achieve, which I've spoke of before, that I think they're trying to condition gamers into getting less while paying more, and then sort of normalize that trend. So that would go against what they're trying to achieve there. So I don't think, well, I think that would be a good idea to sell. I agree with you, to sell more product. Do not believe that's a strategy they want to go with. I think they're quite happy with taking a bit of a hit now, slowing the market down and getting people used to spending way more. So rather than high volume, low margins, they want to sort of go lower volume, higher margins. It seems to be the way they want to go, and that would certainly set them up better for perhaps they're predicting when they'll make bank again is another sort of cryptocurrency type boom. That would make sense, right? That strategy, setting yourself up for that if they believe that's on the cards again.
I mean, it makes sense, and you'd look like a genius future guru predictor man if you managed to get something like that right. I think what's more likely to happen is that GPU sales do this, and then their investor day happens, and they're like, oh, we made no money on GPUs. And their investors are like, what? What are you doing? So
that's definitely the short-term result of that.
Yeah, I imagine that, and again, I get a lot of the frustration with the GPU market being really bad at the moment. I think, though, we are still in the middle of a GPU rollout, so a lot of the reactions that people are having are based on an incomplete product stack. So we've only got what I would class as high-end products at the moment.
The rollout's been slow, though.
The rollout has been very slow, but AMD seems to be fumbling around doing their various weird things, and NVIDIA has just no incentive to release products because they're the market leader. So, and again, like a lot of the ramifications of people not buying these products, they're yet to play out because the quarter's still in play and the financial results come down the track and those sorts of things. So, I think while I get what you're saying is like, I think that's a valid strategy in that they would try and reset people and incentivize and hope that there's a future where demand's really high again and people will start buying. But I don't think it'll work. And I think there will have to be some sort of reaction in the near future.
I hope so. I don't know whether it'll work or not, but that certainly seems to be what they're planning on doing.
It seems like they're trying to do it. I just don't think it'll work.
Yeah, well, I would agree with that.
I think it's not working now.
The other side of it is the planned obsolescence. So they don't want to create another sort of, well, everyone refers to it as the GTX 1080 Ti situation, another Pascal flagship where it's too good. So you something like even the RTX 3080, 3070 had those cards had 16, 20 gigs of VRAM. They'd still be absolute weapons today. And if you had an RTX 3080 with 20 gigs of VRAM, which was rumored and was actually going to happen, and they pulled back on that one.
Yep.
I saw all the marketing materials and everything. The AIBs were ready to push that product out, and it got cancelled last minute. That product would be very good today. Very usable, very good. You'd be playing games like Hogwarts Legacy with ray tracing enabled at 1440p with ultra everything, and it'd be 60 FPS plus. So it'd be very playable. But instead, parts like the 3070... they just fall on a huge heap. They're basically unusable because they only have 8 gigs of VRAM.
Yeah, I mean, I think AMD is certainly targeting that as one area where they see competitiveness and competition, where they can offer more VRAM than the competition.
It just means people who buy AMD GPUs don't buy new ones.
But this is where if AMD was more competitive, not just VRAM, they're more competitive in features and ray tracing performance and stuff, then they would sell more, and then NVIDIA would be like, hey, our GPU's not selling because we don't have enough VRAM or whatever the lacking feature-wise is.
Yep.
So that's where you'd hope the market gets to. Unfortunately, AMD is not in the position where that's really significant seller for them. I think, it's one of those cases where you don't see the benefit of having more VRAM until many years after the purchase. So it's very hard. And, I think you copped a bit of criticism for your take on 6800 versus 3070 at the time, where you mentioned it was a selling point, but a lot of people said that's not going to be too much of an issue. Seems like maybe these days that it is
Yeah,
It is
and
an issue.
it depends on where you are as well, generational wise. Like
Yeah.
there'll be some generations, like if we had gone back 2 or 3 generations before that, where 8 GB of VRAM would have been fine for the foreseeable.
Yeah.
But it was
Like you bought a 1080 Ti, 8
Yeah.
gigabytes, heaps for the lifespan
well
of that card.
1080 at least, yeah.
Yeah.
1080 Ti,
Had even more. So
11 apparently. But yes, I know what you're saying.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that probably covers that one pretty well. I think there's more going on than I don't think they want to give you a lot of VRAM at the moment for various reasons. So
Yes, you don't
no
you don't
competition,
say.
unfortunately.
Yeah.